Hello, and welcome back to Code Your English, the channel where we help you improve your English while learning something useful and interesting for your real life. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Whether you're listening at home, walking outside, or taking a break from work or school, thank you for joining me. Your time is important, and I hope this episode gives you something helpful for both your English and your life. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I think many of us deal with every day. The topic is how to deal with difficult people. Now, when I say difficult people, maybe someone comes to your mind. It could be a coworker, a classmate, a friend, or even a family member. Maybe they always complain, or maybe they talk in a rude way. Maybe they make you feel angry, confused, or tired. Yes, we all have people like this in our lives, and it's not easy to handle them, especially when we want to stay calm and kind. Learning how to deal with difficult people is a very useful life skill. Why? Because we meet all kinds of people in life. Some are friendly, some are quiet, and some are, well, difficult. But we can't always avoid them. We may have to work with them, study with them, or even live with them. So instead of getting angry or running away, it's better to learn how to stay strong, how to speak clearly, and how to keep our peace when others try to take it away. This is not just about them. It's also about how we take care of ourselves. In today's episode, I will help you understand who difficult people are and why they behave the way they do. We'll talk about how they affect us, and most importantly, we'll learn simple and smart ways to deal with them without losing our cool. You will learn some very easy tips, helpful sentences to use in conversations, and one short real-life story to help you understand these ideas better. I will speak slowly and clearly, so you can also practice your listening and speaking while learning these skills. This podcast is made just for you, English learners who want to practice English in a real and meaningful way. So please relax, listen carefully, and feel free to repeat some parts out loud if you want to practice speaking too. Also, don't forget to like, follow, and share. Code Your English with your friends or classmates if you enjoy this episode. It really helps me keep creating more helpful content for you. Now, are you ready to learn how to deal with difficult people and feel more confident in your daily life? Let's get started. What does difficult people mean? So, let's begin by understanding what we really mean when we say difficult people. This is a common phrase in English, and you've probably heard it before. But what does it actually mean? A difficult person is someone who is hard to talk to, hard to work with, or hard to get along with. They may make you feel stressed, tired, angry, or uncomfortable. These are the kinds of people who, after talking with them, you feel upset or unhappy. And sometimes, you don't even know why you feel that way. Now, it's important to remember that not everyone who disagrees with you is a difficult person. It's normal to have different ideas or opinions from time to time. But a difficult person is someone who often creates problems or negative feelings for others. They don't listen well. They talk in a rude or angry tone. Or they may always want to be right, and they don't care how others feel. Sometimes they are loud and mean. Other times, they may not say much, but they still make the situation uncomfortable. Let me give you a few simple and clear examples so you can understand better. Imagine you have a coworker who always complains every day. No matter what happens, they always find something wrong. If the weather is nice, they say it's too hot. If it rains, they say the day is ruined. If you finish a task quickly, they say it wasn't done perfectly. This person is difficult because they bring negative energy into the room and make others feel bad. Now think about a classmate who is rude. They interrupt others when speaking. They laugh at people's mistakes. They don't say please or thank you, and they always speak in a loud, harsh voice. Talking to them makes you feel nervous or uncomfortable. This is another example of a difficult person. Or maybe you know someone who always wants control. They never listen to your ideas. They make all the decisions and act like they are the boss, even if they are not. If something goes wrong, they blame others. If something goes right, they take all the credit. This kind of person can make group work or conversations very difficult. There are also people who never respect your time or space. For example, they always show up late, or they keep talking when you clearly want to leave. They might call you too much or ask too many personal questions. Even if they don't mean to be rude, their behavior can still feel difficult to deal with. And then, there are people who are always negative or dramatic. If you share good news, they don't celebrate with you. Instead, they say things like, "Well, don't be too happy. Problems will come soon." Or they act like everything is a big disaster, even small things. Spending time with them feels heavy or stressful. As you can see, difficult people come in many forms. Some are loud and angry. Some are quiet but cold. Some are pushy, while others play the victim. But what they all have in common is this: they make communication harder and relationships more stressful. They don't make you feel safe, respected, or heard. Now here's something very important to remember. Being a difficult person does not always mean someone is bad. Maybe they are having a hard time in their life. Maybe they are stressed, tired, or confused. Or maybe no one ever taught them how to communicate in a kind and respectful way. We don't always know their story. But even if we try to understand them, it does not mean we have to accept bad behavior. We can still learn to protect ourselves and deal with them in smart and peaceful ways. So, when we talk about difficult people in this podcast, we don't mean people who are simply different from us. We mean people who often make things harder for others through their actions, words, or attitude. And most of us, at some point, will have to deal with someone like this. That's why it's important to learn how to respond, not with anger, but with calm, strength, and smart communication. In the next part of this episode, we will talk about why people behave in a difficult way. What is happening inside them? Why do they act like that? Understanding this can help us feel more confident and less emotional when we meet difficult people in real life. Are you ready? Let's continue. Why are people difficult? So now that we know what a difficult person is, the next question is, why are people difficult? Why do some people always complain, act rude, or behave in a way that hurts others? Well, the truth is, people are not born difficult. There is always a reason behind someone's behavior. It doesn't mean their behavior is okay, but when we understand the reason, we can feel less angry or confused. It helps us deal with them in a smarter way. One common reason is stress. Many people are under a lot of stress. They may have problems at work, in their family, or with their health. Maybe they are worried about money, or they are not sleeping well. When people feel stress, they often become angry or short-tempered. They don't smile, they speak in a hard voice, or they start arguments for small things. So when someone acts difficult, sometimes it's not about you. It's about something going wrong in their life. Another reason is personal problems. Some people carry pain from their past. Maybe they had a difficult childhood. Maybe someone hurt them before, and now they don't trust others. They may feel sad, lonely, or afraid, but instead of asking for help, they push people away. They may act cold, unfriendly, or even mean. This is their way of protecting themselves, even if it's not the right way. A third reason is insecurity. Insecure people do not feel good about themselves. They don't feel smart, strong, or successful, even if they don't say it. So they try to make others feel small. They interrupt. They laugh at others, or they try to control everything. It's not because they are confident. It's actually the opposite. They feel weak inside, and they try to hide it by acting strong on the outside. Also, many people have poor communication skills. They never learned how to talk with respect. Maybe in their family, people shouted instead of speaking kindly. Maybe they don't know how to listen. They get angry fast or use the wrong words without thinking. These people may not mean to hurt others, but their way of speaking causes problems. It doesn't make them a bad person, but it does make conversations harder. Sometimes people are difficult because they feel unhappy or empty inside. They may feel jealous of others who are doing better. Or they may feel ignored, like no one listens to them. So they become negative or complain all the time. It's like they want attention, but they don't know a good way to get it. Now here's something very important. When someone acts in a difficult way, it's not always personal. This means they are not being rude because of something you did. They are not angry because of you. Often, they are angry because of something inside themselves. But we usually think, did I say something wrong? Why are they acting like this toward me? That's normal. But most of the time, it's not about you. Also remember, difficult people are everywhere. No matter where you live, work, or study, you will meet someone who is hard to talk to. And you can't change them. You can't always make them nicer, but you can choose how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, speak clearly, and protect your peace. So, before you react to a difficult person, try to pause and ask yourself, maybe they are going through something I don't see. This thought can help you feel more relaxed and less emotional. It gives you power because you're not just reacting, you're choosing how to respond. In the next part of this episode, we will talk about how difficult people affect us. What happens inside us when we face someone like this? Why do we feel so tired or upset afterward? And why is it important to protect our own peace? Let's keep going and find out together. How difficult people affect us. Let's now talk about something very important. How difficult people affect us. When someone is rude, negative, or controlling, they don't just make the situation hard. They also affect our feelings, our energy, and sometimes even our day. Think about this. Have you ever talked to someone and felt upset afterward? Maybe they didn't listen to you. Maybe they were angry for no reason. Maybe they said something that made you feel small or unimportant. And after that, you couldn't stop thinking about it. You felt angry or sad or maybe just tired. Yes, that's the power of difficult people. They don't just speak, we feel their words deep inside. One common feeling we have around difficult people is anger. When someone speaks in a rude way or doesn't respect us, it's normal to feel angry. You may feel like shouting back or walking away fast. Your heart beats faster. Your body feels hot. You want to say something, but you're not sure if it's the right thing to say. This kind of anger can stay inside you, even after the conversation is over. Another feeling is frustration. Frustration is that feeling when you try to explain something, but the other person just doesn't listen. Or when you do your best, but the person still complains. It feels like nothing you do is enough. You may want to give up. You feel stuck, like there's no way to fix the problem. This kind of feeling makes us lose motivation and confidence. Many people also feel tired after spending time with someone difficult. Not just physically tired, but emotionally tired. Some people take a lot of your energy. After just a short talk with them, you feel like you need to rest. You feel heavy inside. It's not because you ran or worked hard. It's because you had to protect your feelings during that talk. That kind of emotional tiredness can even affect your sleep, your mood, and your peace of mind. Some difficult people make us feel sad or hurt. Maybe they ignore us or say unkind things. Maybe they make us feel like we are not good enough. Even if we know it's not true, those words can still hurt. And when we feel hurt, we sometimes stop talking. We close ourselves. We feel quiet, small, and alone. And that's a painful feeling, especially if the person is someone close to us. There's also something else: self-doubt. After talking with a difficult person, you may start to ask yourself questions like, "Did I do something wrong?" Or, "Am I the problem?" This kind of thinking can make you feel confused. It's easy to blame yourself, even when the other person is clearly being unfair. But this can damage your self-esteem, which is how we feel about ourselves. And finally, difficult people can also affect our relationships with others. For example, if you have a boss who always yells at you, you may go home feeling angry. Then maybe you speak to your family in a bad way, even if they did nothing wrong. Or if a classmate is mean to you, you may stop talking to other students too. One difficult person can change how we act with everyone else. So yes, difficult people have a strong effect on us. They can take our time, energy, and peace. And sometimes, we don't even realize how much they affect us until later, when we feel stressed or upset and don't know why. That's why it's so important to learn how to protect ourselves emotionally. We may not be able to change them, but we can change how we react to them. In the next part of this episode, I'm going to share some simple and powerful tips you can use when dealing with difficult people. These tips will help you stay calm, protect your energy, and respond with confidence, even when someone is not being kind. Let's move forward and learn these helpful strategies together. How to deal with difficult people. Now that we understand what difficult people are, why they behave the way they do, and how they affect us, let's talk about the most important part: how we can deal with them in a smart and peaceful way. You don't need to fight. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to learn some simple strategies that will help you stay calm and protect your energy. These tips will not only help you in difficult situations, but they will also help you become more confident and peaceful in daily life. Let's begin with the first and maybe most important tip. Stay calm. When someone is rude or says something unkind, your first feeling may be to react quickly. You might want to shout, argue, or walk away fast. But reacting too fast usually makes the situation worse. Instead, take a deep breath. Pause. Count to 5 in your head if you need to. Tell yourself, I am calm. I don't need to fight. This small action can help your brain stay clear and stop you from saying something you might regret later. When you stay calm, you stay in control, not the difficult person. The second tip is, listen carefully. Sometimes difficult people behave badly because they feel unheard. Maybe they just want someone to listen, even if they're saying things in a bad way. So instead of interrupting or getting angry, try listening first. You can say things like, I understand, or I hear what you're saying. This doesn't mean you agree with them. It just shows that you're open to hearing their side. Often, when people feel heard, they become less angry. The third tip is, use kind but clear words. Being kind does not mean being weak. You can be polite and still say how you feel. Use calm, simple language. For example, you can say, I don't feel comfortable when you speak to me like that. Or, let's talk about this later when we're both calm. You don't need to shout or be rude. In fact, soft and respectful words often work better than strong or angry ones. People may be surprised when you stay respectful, even when they are not. That surprise can change the whole mood of the conversation. Tip number 4 is, set boundaries. This means you protect your space, your time, and your peace. You don't have to say yes to everything. If someone always asks for help but never thanks you, it's okay to say, I'm sorry, but I can't help today. Or if someone always calls you at night when you're trying to rest, you can say, please call me earlier next time. Setting boundaries is not rude. It's healthy. It helps people understand what is okay and what is not okay for you. Tip 5 is one that many people forget. Don't take it personally. Difficult people are often unhappy, stressed, or angry for reasons that have nothing to do with you. But their words can still hurt, especially if you are kind and sensitive. That's why it's important to remind yourself, this is not about me. This is about them. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they don't know how to express their feelings. Whatever the reason, don't let their mood become your mood. You can listen, but you don't have to carry their pain. The 6th tip is to try to understand why the person is acting this way. Sometimes asking a simple question like, why are you upset, can help. It shows that you care and want to listen. When you try to understand, you might see that the person is sad or angry for a reason you didn't know before. You can show empathy, which means you feel a little of their feelings without letting it hurt you. But remember, it's important to stay safe. If the person is being very rude or aggressive, you don't have to continue the conversation. Understanding does not mean accepting bad behavior. The 7th tip is to use I statements when you talk. This is a very helpful way to keep conversations calm and respectful. Instead of saying, you always make me angry, you say, I feel upset when you speak loudly. Using I statements helps the other person hear your feelings without feeling blamed or attacked. It can prevent fights and make it easier to solve problems. Practice saying, I feel, instead of, you always. It's a small change in words, but a big change in the way people listen. And finally, walk away if needed. Yes, sometimes, the best answer is to say nothing and simply leave. Not every argument needs a reply. Not every rude comment needs your attention. If someone is yelling or making you feel unsafe, you have the right to leave. You can say, I don't want to continue this conversation now, and walk away. This is not weakness, it's strength. It shows you respect yourself enough not to stay in a toxic situation. So, let's quickly repeat these 6 simple but powerful tips. Stay calm. Take a deep breath before you speak. Listen carefully. Sometimes people just want to feel heard. Use kind but clear words. Speak honestly but gently. Set boundaries. Protect your time, energy, and peace. Try to understand. Ask why. Show empathy safely. Use I statements. Express your feelings clearly and calmly. Don't take it personally. Their behavior is about them, not you. Walk away if needed. It's okay to leave the conversation. These strategies are not magic, and they won't change the other person. But they will help you feel stronger, safer, and more in control. You don't need to fight with difficult people. You don't need to fix them. But you can learn to respond with calm, speak with care, and walk away with peace when needed. In the next part of this episode, I will share some useful sentences and phrases you can use when speaking with a difficult person. These simple lines can help you speak clearly and protect yourself while keeping the conversation respectful. Let's move on and learn those now. Now that we've learned the 8 helpful tips to deal with difficult people, let's learn some useful English sentences that you can actually use in real conversations. These sentences are simple, polite, and powerful. They help you express yourself clearly and respectfully, even when the other person is not being kind. These phrases will also help you protect your peace and manage difficult situations without feeling confused or lost. I will say each sentence slowly, and I want you to repeat after me. You can say it out loud or just quietly to yourself. This will help you practice your pronunciation and speaking fluency. Let's begin. The first sentence is, I understand how you feel. This is a kind and respectful way to show the other person that you are listening. It can calm them down and make them feel heard. Let's say it together. I understand how you feel. Again, I understand how you feel. You don't have to agree with them, but showing understanding can reduce tension. The second sentence is, can we talk about this later? Sometimes a person is too angry or upset, and it's not the right time to talk. This sentence helps you stop the conversation for now in a polite way. Repeat after me. Can we talk about this later? One more time. Can we talk about this later? This is a peaceful way to take a break and continue when things are calmer. Now, let's learn the third sentence. I don't feel comfortable with this. This is a strong but polite sentence. It tells the other person that something is wrong for you. You are setting a boundary. Let's practice it together. I don't feel comfortable with this. Say it again. I don't feel comfortable with this. You can use this sentence when someone is talking in a bad way, asking too many personal questions, or doing something that makes you feel uneasy. And here is the fourth sentence. Let's stay calm and talk nicely. This is a very helpful phrase when things are getting tense. You can use it to remind the other person to lower their voice or stop using angry words. Repeat after me. Let's stay calm and talk nicely. One more time. Let's stay calm and talk nicely. This shows that you want peace and respect in the conversation. These 4 simple sentences can help you in many real-life situations. They are short, polite, and easy to remember. And the best part? You don't need to say a lot to protect yourself. Just a few strong and kind words are enough. Let's quickly repeat all 4 again, this time a little faster. I understand how you feel. Can we talk about this later? I don't feel comfortable with this. Let's stay calm and talk nicely. Very good. You're doing great. The more you repeat these sentences, the easier it will be to use them when you need them. Try practicing them at home or even in front of a mirror. You can also write them down in a notebook and review them from time to time. Common types of difficult people. When we talk about difficult people, it helps to understand that there are different types. Each type behaves in a different way, and knowing these types can help you recognize them and choose the best way to deal with them. Let me share with you 4 common types of difficult people you might meet in your daily life. The first type is the complainer. This person often finds problems everywhere. They complain about their work, their family, the weather, or even small things like food or traffic. For example, imagine a coworker who always says, "This task is too hard," or "The manager never listens to me." They focus on the negative side of everything and may make people around them feel tired or sad. Complaining too much can be difficult because it feels like there is no solution, and it's easy to get pulled into their negative mood. When you meet a complainer, it's important to stay calm and try not to agree with all the complaints. You can listen kindly, but try to change the subject or suggest positive ideas. The second type is the angry person. This person shows anger openly. They may raise their voice, use harsh words, or get upset quickly. For example, a friend who yells when things don't go their way, or a family member who loses patience easily. Angry people can make others feel scared or uncomfortable. When dealing with an angry person, it's helpful to stay calm, speak softly, and avoid shouting back. You can use phrases like, "Let's stay calm and talk nicely," to help lower the tension. Sometimes, giving them space to cool down is the best choice. The third type is the silent type. This person does not share their thoughts or feelings openly. They may stay quiet in conversations, avoid eye contact, or refuse to answer questions. For example, a classmate who never speaks during group work or a co-worker who ignores your greetings. This silence can be difficult because you don't know what they are thinking or feeling, and it may feel like they don't like you or want to work with you. When dealing with a silent type, it helps to be patient and give them time. You can gently ask simple questions like, "Is everything okay?" or "Would you like to share your ideas?" Sometimes, silence is a way of protecting themselves or feeling shy. The fourth type is the know-it-all. This person acts like they know everything and may correct others often. For example, someone who interrupts when you speak or says, "Actually, that's wrong," even when it's not true. Know-it-alls can make conversation stressful because they want to control the discussion and may not listen to other opinions. When you meet a know-it-all, try to stay polite and don't argue too much. You can say, "That's an interesting idea," or "Let's agree to disagree." It's important not to get into a fight, but to keep the conversation respectful. These 4 types, complainers, angry people, silent types, and know-it-alls, are very common. But remember that every person is unique. Sometimes people may show more than one type or behave differently depending on the situation. By understanding these types, you can prepare yourself better. You will know when to listen, when to speak, and when to stay calm. It gives you the power to respond with kindness and confidence, no matter who you are dealing with. How to stay calm and positive. Dealing with difficult people can be challenging, but one of the most important things you can do is stay calm and positive. Staying calm helps you think clearly, protect your feelings, and respond in a smart way. When you lose your calm, it's easy to say or do things you might regret later. That's why learning how to keep calm is a key skill for everyone. So, why is staying calm so important? First, it helps you control the situation. When you stay calm, you don't give the difficult person the power to upset you. You keep control of your emotions and your actions. Second, staying calm helps you listen better. When you're calm, you can hear what the other person is really saying and understand their feelings. This makes it easier to solve problems or find peaceful solutions. Third, calmness protects your health. When you get angry or stressed, your body feels tense, your heart beats faster, and you may feel tired or sick. Staying calm keeps your body relaxed and your mind clear. Now, let's talk about some simple tips to help you stay calm when you face a difficult person. One easy way is to breathe slowly and deeply. When you feel upset, stop for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose. Count slowly to 4 as you breathe in. Then breathe out through your mouth, counting slowly to 4 again. Repeat this a few times. This breathing exercise helps your body relax and your mind focus. It's like telling your brain, "It's okay, I'm safe." Another tip is to pause before you speak or act. When someone says something rude or angry, your first reaction might be to shout or argue. But if you pause for a moment, you give yourself time to think. Ask yourself, what is the best thing to say or do? This short pause can stop problems before they start. You can also try to think positive thoughts. For example, remind yourself, "I can handle this," or "This will pass." Thinking like this can change your feelings from angry or scared to calm and strong. You can practice saying these thoughts quietly in your mind or out loud. To help you practice staying calm with your English speaking, here are some simple sentences you can use or repeat when you feel upset. I am calm. I can stay peaceful. Take a deep breath. Let's talk kindly. I choose to stay calm. Try saying these sentences slowly and clearly. You can practice them alone or with a friend. The more you say them, the more your mind will remember to stay calm when you need it most. Remember, staying calm is not always easy, and that's okay. It takes practice and patience. Every time you try, you get better. You are learning a new skill that will help you in many parts of your life. At work, at school, with family, and with friends. Useful things to say to difficult people. When you deal with difficult people, knowing what to say can help a lot. Using polite and simple phrases can calm the situation and protect your feelings. It can also help you speak confidently and clearly without making the other person angry. In this part of the episode, I will share some useful sentences you can use. I will also give you example conversations so you can see how to use these phrases in real life. First, here are some easy and polite phrases you can use. I understand your point. Let's stay calm and talk kindly. I'm sorry you feel this way. Can we discuss this later? Please don't speak to me like that. I would like to find a solution. I feel upset when you say that. Let's agree to disagree. Thank you for sharing your opinion. I'm here to listen. These sentences are polite, but clear. They show respect for the other person's feelings while also protecting your own. Using these phrases can help keep the conversation peaceful, even if the person is difficult. Now let's look at a short example conversation between two people, Anna and Tom. Tom is upset and speaking loudly, but Anna uses polite phrases to stay calm. Tom, this project is all wrong. You didn't do it the right way. Anna, I understand your point, Tom. Let's stay calm and talk kindly. Tom, I don't want to talk calmly. This is a big problem. Anna, I'm sorry you feel this way. Can we discuss this later when we are both calm? Tom, fine, but I want it fixed soon. Anna, I would like to find a solution together. Thank you for sharing your opinion. In this conversation, Anna does not shout or get angry. She listens and uses calm, polite phrases. This helps reduce Tom's anger and keeps the conversation respectful. Here is another example with a silent person. Sarah wants to know why her coworker John is quiet. Sarah, John, is everything okay? I noticed you are quiet today. John, quietly, I'm just tired. Sarah, thank you for telling me. If you want to talk, I'm here to listen. John, thanks, Sarah. I appreciate that. In this example, Sarah shows kindness and understanding with simple words. This can help silent people feel safe to share. You can practice these phrases at home. Say them out loud slowly. Imagine you are in a real conversation. Practice with a friend or in front of a mirror. The more you use these sentences, the more natural they will feel. And when you meet difficult people, you will be ready to respond with calm and respect. Remember, words are powerful. They can build peace or cause more problems. Choosing polite and clear phrases helps you stay in control and protect your peace. What not to do. When you deal with difficult people, it's just as important to know what not to do as it is to know what to do. Sometimes, when someone is rude or angry, we want to react quickly, maybe shout back or ignore them completely. But these actions usually make the situation worse. Let's talk about some common mistakes and why they are not helpful. One big mistake is shouting back or getting angry. When someone raises their voice, it's easy to want to shout louder or use angry words. But shouting does not solve problems. Instead, it can make both people feel more upset. When you shout, you lose control of your feelings, and the other person may shout even louder. This creates a cycle of anger that is hard to stop. It also makes others around uncomfortable and may hurt your relationships. So, shouting back is never a good choice. Staying calm is much better. Another mistake is ignoring the person in a rude way. Sometimes people think that if they don't answer, the difficult person will stop bothering them. But ignoring someone by turning your back, rolling your eyes, or walking away without saying anything can hurt feelings. It can make the other person feel unimportant or angry. This often causes more problems later. If you want to ignore someone, it is better to do it politely. You can say, I don't want to continue this conversation now, and then leave calmly. Being rude while ignoring is not helpful. Some people also make the mistake of blaming or insulting the difficult person. When you say things like, you are always wrong, or you never listen, it makes the other person feel attacked. This usually causes them to defend themselves or become more aggressive. Blaming can create fights and hurt feelings. It's better to use calm words and I statements like, I feel upset when this happens, which helps keep respect in the conversation. Another mistake is trying to fix the other person immediately. Sometimes we want to make the difficult person stop being rude right away. We try to explain, argue, or change their mind quickly. But this can backfire because people need time to calm down. Trying to fix things too fast can make them feel pushed or controlled, and they may become more difficult. It's better to listen first, stay calm, and wait for a better time to talk. Also, don't make the mistake of taking the anger or rudeness personally. When you take everything personally, you may feel sad, angry, or scared. This can hurt your confidence and make you want to fight back or give up. Remember, their bad behavior is usually about their problems, not you. Protect your feelings by not absorbing their negativity. Finally, avoid staying in a bad situation too long. If someone is very rude or aggressive, it's okay to walk away. Some people think they must always respond or fix the problem right away. But staying in a negative situation too long can hurt your peace and health. Knowing when to leave shows strength, not weakness. To sum up, here are some things you should not do when dealing with difficult people. Don't shout or get angry back. Don't ignore them rudely or show bad body language. Don't blame or insult them. Don't try to fix things too fast. Don't take their bad mood personally. Don't stay too long in a negative or unsafe situation. When you avoid these mistakes, you help keep peace and respect in your relationships. You also protect your own feelings and energy. It's not easy to always do the right thing, but with practice, you will get better at handling difficult people calmly and kindly. In the next part of this episode, I will tell you a short, simple story. A real-life example of someone who had to deal with a difficult person using the tips and phrases we've just learned. This story will help you see how everything works together in real life. Are you ready? Let's continue. Now let me tell you a short and simple story to help you understand how to use everything we've talked about. This is a true-to-life example of a woman named Sarah who had to deal with a difficult person at work. Sarah is a kind and friendly person. She works in an office, and most of the people there are nice. But there was one person named James who always acted in a difficult way. James often spoke in a rude voice. He complained about everything. He didn't say hello in the morning, and he always made negative comments about other people's work. He even interrupted Sarah in meetings and made her feel small in front of others. At first, Sarah felt really upset. After every meeting with James, she felt tired and sad. She began to doubt herself. She asked herself, "Did I do something wrong? Why does he always treat me like that?" She wanted to tell him how she felt, but she didn't want to start a fight. So she decided to try a better way. The next time James spoke to her in a rude way, Sarah took a deep breath. She didn't speak right away. She reminded herself to stay calm. Then she said softly, "I understand how you feel, but I don't feel comfortable when you speak to me like this." She used a kind but clear voice. She didn't shout. She didn't attack. She just told him the truth, in a respectful way. James looked surprised. No one had ever spoken to him like that before. He didn't say much, but he didn't continue being rude in that moment. A few days later, during another meeting, he started complaining again. This time, Sarah didn't get upset. She said, "Can we talk about this later?" and continued her work. She didn't let his negative energy change her mood. Over time, something interesting happened. James slowly began to change his behavior. He stopped interrupting her. He still complained sometimes, but he wasn't as aggressive. He even said, "Good morning" one day, which he never did before. Maybe it was because Sarah stayed calm, used polite words, and didn't react with anger. She showed him a better way to communicate. Sarah also made sure to set boundaries. When she needed to focus, she would close her office door or wear her headphones. She respected her time and didn't let James distract her. And on days when he was in a really bad mood, she chose to walk away. She didn't try to fix him. She just protected her peace. This story shows us something powerful. You don't have to shout to be strong. You don't have to fight to be respected. When you stay calm, speak clearly, and use kind words, you create space for peace. And sometimes, that can even help the other person change too. So next time you meet someone difficult, remember Sarah's story. Remember the tips we learned. And remind yourself, you are in control of your response. Now, let's move on to the final part of this episode, where I'll share a few last thoughts and words of encouragement just for you. Keep listening. You're doing great. Let's take a moment now to reflect on everything we've talked about in this episode. We've been learning how to deal with difficult people, and it's not always easy, but it is possible. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to win every argument. What you need is patience, calm thinking, and the belief that you can handle the situation in a better way. We started by asking, why are people difficult? And we discovered that many times, their behavior has nothing to do with us. They might be stressed, tired, insecure, or struggling with personal problems. Sometimes people act badly because they don't know how to express their feelings. Maybe they never learned how to communicate well. So when someone is rude or negative, it doesn't always mean they're trying to hurt you. Understanding this can help us stay calm and not take things personally. Then we talked about how difficult people affect us. Their behavior can make us feel angry, sad, tired, or frustrated. You might have walked away from a conversation and asked yourself, why do I feel so bad? That's the emotional weight of dealing with someone who isn't kind. But knowing this is helpful. It reminds us to protect our own peace and not let others steal our energy. After that, we shared simple tips you can use in your daily life. Stay calm. Breathe. Don't react quickly. Listen with care. Use kind and clear words. Say what you feel in a polite way. Set boundaries. Say no if you need to. And walk away if the situation becomes too negative. These are real skills you can learn and use, not just in your job or school, but also in your family and friendships. We even practiced some useful sentences like, I understand how you feel, and I don't feel comfortable with this. These phrases are powerful tools. They help you express your feelings clearly without being rude. They also show others that you are respectful, but strong. You can be calm and confident at the same time. And we listened to a story about Sarah, how she stayed calm and used kind words to deal with a rude coworker. She didn't change who she was. She didn't lose her temper. She simply responded with wisdom. And over time, even the difficult person began to behave differently. So here's the most important thing I want you to remember. You can't control others, but you can control your response. This is where your true power is. You don't have to join someone else's storm. You can stay in your peace. You can be the calm voice in the middle of noise. Dealing with difficult people is not something you're born knowing how to do. It's a skill. And like any skill, it gets easier with practice. So don't feel bad if it's hard at first. Be patient with yourself. Every time you stay calm, every time you speak kindly, every time you choose not to take it personally, you're getting stronger. You're growing. Stay kind. Stay calm. Stay confident. You are not weak for being gentle. You are wise for choosing peace over anger. You have the power to make better choices, even in difficult situations. Before we end today's episode, I'd like to leave you with a small but powerful challenge, something simple you can try this week in your daily life. When someone speaks to you in a rude or unkind way, try to stay calm. Just take a breath. Don't react immediately. Don't rush to defend or argue. Instead, pause. Let your silence be your strength. This doesn't mean you have to accept bad behavior, but it means you are choosing to respond with control, not emotion. This practice can really help you see how strong and calm you can be, even when others are not. When you choose peace instead of anger, you are not letting them win. You are winning by protecting your own mind and mood. Even if the situation feels uncomfortable at first, remind yourself that you're not responsible for other people's behavior, only for your own response. Also, go back and practice the helpful phrases we learned earlier. These are great tools to keep with you. Say them out loud when you're alone. Repeat them slowly and clearly. I understand how you feel. Can we talk about this later? I don't feel comfortable with this. Let's stay calm and talk nicely. These simple sentences are respectful, calm, and clear. They help you express yourself without sounding rude. Try saying them in front of a mirror, or record your voice and play it back. Practicing out loud will build your confidence. The more you repeat them, the more natural they will feel in real situations. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone you care about. A friend, a classmate, a family member. Maybe they're also struggling with difficult people and could use these tips. You can also listen again to this episode during the week to remind yourself of the strategies and the positive mindset we talked about. Every time you listen, you'll understand something a little deeper. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate your presence and your willingness to grow and improve. You are not alone in this journey. Many people around the world are learning, just like you, how to stay strong and kind, even in hard moments. So, take this challenge, practice your phrases, and believe in your ability to handle tough situations with calm and confidence. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep shining. Until next time, stay calm, stay kind, and stay proud of yourself. You're doing a wonderful job, and I'll be here again soon with more support and encouragement. Take care, and goodbye for now.